This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RoadPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, today at practice, the Boise State football team getting back to work, and that means Jay Tust getting back to work. I don't know what the more important thing in the shot there was. Spencer Danielson talking to NFL scouts or Bronco Studios on the scene, getting you ready to go for today's practice. The Broncos back at work today. It's Tuesday, but it's a Wednesday for them, Jay Tust, as they get back and get ready to go and continue to move past the loss to South Florida. And we're going to try to do that, Jay, but I still think there was some stuff at yesterday's presser that needs to be discussed. And I know a lot of people are excited to move forward to Eastern Washington, but the Broncos back at work, and we are too. Happy Tuesday here at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. It's a Taco Bell Tuesday, a Jay Tust Tuesday, and we're ready to go here. How we doing, Jay?
Good. I wasn't expecting that in your opening shot there. And easily, Spencer, talking to a couple NFL scouts is the bigger ordeal. But the guys are back to work, and another, I would say, spirited practice. But I'll also add to that, the only way that we're going to find out if it's working is if they show up and play on Friday against Eastern Washington in the home opener. And Spencer Danielson said as much yesterday in his press conference, which BJ was easily probably Spencer Danielson's most candid press conference as he's taken over as the head coach, which feels like that's saying something, by the way. And then on top of that, like just one of the more probably open, honest, and authentic press conferences really since we've been covering the team, in my opinion. There were some tough questions that had to be asked. And Spencer Danielson stood up there and answered all of them.
You can't ask him anymore, Jay. You can't ask him.
I thought I asked him. I thought I asked some pretty good questions yesterday.
You did, man. You brought it as usual, and I'm glad you're in there asking questions at the press conference because it would be pretty one-sided if not. I'll just say that. But Jay, we're going to play this clip in a second. But you mentioned a lot of interest and buzz, whatever. This clip right here that I played, 452,000 views. Almost is that quote is going viral? I don't know, but almost 500,000 views on Spencer Danielson, which we're going to play the clip here in a minute. And by the way, we are outside. We could have had a little better shot visually, Jay, but we also could have been in the sun. And I said, you know what, today we're going to take the back of these cars right here, and at least you get a little bit of the stadium, but we wanted to be in the shade for the show today. They are still out there practicing right now. We got to watch. We could be in there watching if we wanted, but that's what we do, folks. We do this for you. So we leave practice to come out and film this show. But they let us – the first 3 or 4 periods were, quote, open to record and stuff. So we got some footage, got some videos you just saw. And then they're still practicing, and we came out here. But what do you make of the tone in the last couple of days, and Spencer and Eric Chenander? And I mean, I think it could go one of two ways, Jay. I mean, there's a fine line where you want to rip guys and get on them and say that's unacceptable and call them out by name in the press conference, but then there's not wanting to lose guys either. And Spencer even said yesterday, I'm hoping there's no finger pointing going on because I assume there probably is behind the scenes. There's 108 guys on this team, so this is a very interesting week to see, and it's the perfect opponent, Eastern Washington, but it's also an opponent where we may not really find much out about how much of this change, and then you're going to have the bye week, and so I really think Air Force is going to be the first true test here in a couple weeks. But I guess you'd rather try to work some of these kinks out against an Eastern Washington.
I think you desperately need to work out some of the kinks, as you just said, against Eastern Washington. I'll say this, though, too. I saw the Idaho Vandals push my alma mater, the Washington State Cougars, to the brink in regulation on the Palouse last weekend. So it's also one of those games where you can't take anything for granted, especially if Boise State plays more than anything with the effort and discipline that they did last week. Was it everybody on the field? No, absolutely not. But time and time again, they talk about how it takes all 11 on offense, it takes all 11 on defense, and it takes all 11 on special teams. And if even 1/11th is off, you're going to sacrifice your ability to be elite as an offense, defense, or on special teams. And in many cases, it wasn't just one, but it might have been a couple, as even Spencer pointed out. But I mean, straight up, BJ, like I thought that it was when you come out of a game and maybe the X's and O's are off or something like that, but you're playing at 1,000 miles an hour, I honestly think that it's almost more acceptable to live with that. But this, maybe the X's and O's weren't perfect. I'm not saying they were, but a lot of this, it felt like had to do with effort and discipline, and it wasn't there. And man, the effort of some of the guys in that game, it's hard to say, but I will say it's some of the more disappointing effort that I saw that I've watched in my time of covering the Boise State football team, which we've been doing this for a while now, BJ. And I don't know if you'd echo those same comments, but there were some guys that you go back and you watch the tape and you're just like, wow, what is that? Like that's not blue collar.
Yeah, I saw a couple live, and then you go back and watch it again, and guys are just jogging after the ball carrier, and it was eye-opening. It was disappointing, and I can't think of a better way or a better word to sum it up, but it was disappointing. And now they get the chance to, get back and regroup and not do that ever again. There are so many things in a game that you can't control, and it seems like coach speak. But Spencer says it time and time again, effort and discipline, those are things you can control. And usually if you do those well, it leads to you being one of the winningest college football programs in America. Instead, that lacked, and they got absolutely blown out against South Florida last Thursday. And so it's wild that we're still here sitting and talking about it, BJ, but this is a big, big prove-it game for Boise State. And the only way that you can do that is by lining up and playing
the way we're accustomed to seeing Boise State football players play on game day.
Yeah, we'll get to kind of what we expect to see moving forward here in a little bit, because it does sound like obviously running the football, the mentality there, getting back to that. I think that sounds like that's going to be the emphasis, especially early downs, really trying to put an emphasis on running the football here in a little bit. But it's Keaton saying, shout out to the media. Multiple questions about Banks. Deserves heat for a performance like that. I mean, sometimes, Jay, you got to be careful with how you ask questions. But sometimes, I mean, everybody sees something. I mean, I'm not sure Andy Avalos or Brian Harsin would have answered the question the same way yesterday. You would have scoffed at you or
Probably.
whatever. But you know, Spencer, that's one thing I'll say about him is there's not a I don't want to say I was ever scared to ask Andy Avalos a question, but there's definitely a secondary thought sometimes based on how the coach typically handles stuff like that. And one thing I'll say about Spencer is, you know, and weirdly he's getting a lot of heat on our message boards. A lot of folks are putting a lot of this, you know, like real serious questions about whether he's the right guy and all this, and it's just crazy to me. But the way he handled that, I thought he did a great job, but I also thought I expected it and I felt like it was a question that had to be asked, and we have the clip here, but I don't know before we play it, if you want to make a comment about just the way he handled all this.
No, I think he handled it. I think he handled it great. Another situation we brought up was Marion McCoy to Eric Chenander, and Eric Chenander saying that, you know, if there's an after the whistle personal foul like that, like pass interferences, stuff like that, it happens in a game. Sometimes you can't control that. You can control, you know, maybe running your mouth a little bit too much and picking up a personal foul. Like you can control that. And so Eric Chenander basically said, no, there's no gray area here. Like if you do that, you will take a seat. We're going to evaluate when you can go back in. It's not like you're just going to continue to play. And really quick, BJ, I think this might be the soundbite that it comes up. And I don't want to paraphrase the whole thing, but I think there's a very specific part, a quote from Spencer Danielson yesterday that really personally was the loudest and said more than anything. And he said something to the effect of, your culture is what you allow, or what you allow is your culture, right?
That's in a different one, but I have that one also.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that is just a really important message right now, because Spencer has largely been billed as a player's coach, right? And that's fine, and that's great. And after the game, he stood up there, and I put together a little soundbite myself after the game. 17 different occasions in a 12-minute press conference, he said, this was my fault, this was on me. But I also think that there's got to be some player accountability in this as well. I mean, it is what it is. Spencer has to get up there and say that, and I 100% understand why. But as a former athlete a million years ago, I've played for player coaches, and I played for guys that, you know, you would call jerks. And if you play for a player coach and there's not guys in the locker room policing, you know, the effort and stuff within the locker room, then it's going to be a hard mixture, in my opinion. And so I think when you heard Spencer say that, you know, I think that's even understanding. He's even understanding a little bit like, maybe I gave a little too much, and maybe they took a little too much, and now you're going to understand where the line is drawn from this point forward.
A lot of great questions, comments coming into the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can here, but I do want to play this 90-second or so bite. A lot of you were wondering, Devon Banks, why was he not benched after the personal foul penalty? That was one of those things. We did ask about the penalty, Jay, after the game, but didn't really ask about, you know, why was he benched? There's just so many. The clock's ticking when you're talking in a postgame with Spencer Danielson, and you know you only get a certain number of questions before they say, you know, he's done.
Yeah.
And so you have to try to be careful and get as much in as you can. The follow-up presser is kind of when you do that. And so yesterday was our first chance to kind of follow up and say why, you know, what was going on with Devon Banks. And I tried to phrase it. I think you hear the question, you know, what is kind of your philosophy when a guy gets a personal foul? How do you decide when they sit? And then I did say a lot of fans were wondering why Banks wasn't benched. And here's what Spencer Danielson said about that.
You weigh when a guy gets like a personal foul penalty, sitting in for a player too. I know a lot of fans are wondering why Banks didn't sit after that.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, BJ, I take full responsibility for that. In the moment, I didn't get who it was. I didn't know the jersey number when it happened. I'll be honest with you. And we should have started with me, seeing that, and he should not have played the next half. And I told our team that. We ran for that yesterday, the 2 personal fouls we got in the game, his and Amarion's. And that is absolutely unacceptable. Not only was it a huge play in the game, I don't care if we're up by 50 and that happens. That is not what we do here. and he should not have played the next snap, and that's on me, and that will not happen again.
I know him and Mickey was supposed to be a pretty close battle. I think he only got one snap in the game.
Yeah, Jaden Mickey's going to compete this week to play more. And up into that game, Devon Banks did some good stuff in practice. Obviously, by no means perfect, but did some good stuff in practice. But in the game, there were some plays that he didn't do what we need him to do. And it's not just Devon Banks. I want to make sure I'm very clear. There are a lot of players on our team that maybe people don't see from the TV, but there's a lot of plays on film that were not the standard in regards to our effort and mentality. I know the play that everybody sees. There's a lot more on that tape than just that one play. And so I'm excited to get it fixed. And at the end of the day, I take full responsibility for letting that happen, because obviously at some point, what you allow is your culture. As the head coach, I've obviously allowed that to be okay, and I'm making it very clear now that it's not, and we got to be better in the future.
All right, Jay, it was the right there at the end. I forgot about that. But, he said, again, there's a lot going on. You're in the heat of the battle. I get it. But a lot of fans were seeing on the chat, and I saw the other day when I posted this was, well, that's great. But how does nobody know who that was that committed the penalty?
Yeah.
And you have that one. You also have the one with McCoy, and we were trying to talk off air. We don't remember exactly if McCoy sat the next play or not. But it's great that Chenander wants to say that. You're going to sit now. It's great that Spencer's saying he should have sat. But I think a lot of fans and folks are wondering, well, why is it happening now moving forward? Why didn't they sit last game?
I mean, it's all valid questions. I think that one thing that we almost have to accept and live with now is that is in the past. And at one point in Spencer Danielson's press conference yesterday, he guaranteed Bronco Nation that this will be the case moving forward. And so that's the accountability that we'll see, and we'll have to hold him to, and we'll pay attention and make sure that that's the case. And maybe a follow-up question, in all honesty, on Wednesday or tomorrow, I suppose, when we visit with Spencer for one last time prior to the press conference. And it's something that I necessarily thought about when we were trying to get to the heart of some of these issues yesterday. But I will say a follow-up one is now how they plan to monitor that stuff within the game, because they've got to be able to identify that 4 or whatever number you're wearing got a personal foul, and have a quick solution ready, apparently, just in case that happens. You would love to spend time and resources elsewhere, but that might be something that they do have to dedicate a certain set of eyes to, or something like that.
Maybe that same guy can see if a quarterback's back at punter.
It seems harsh, but it's valid. It is. That's
another mystery from the game for me. How it's one thing if you don't know how deep they go at punter, but when the guy's listed on the roster as a quarterback, how nobody has a roster in their hand first game going, let's make sure nobody's out of position. You would think punter, and as Spencer said, they were at midfield too. That was just I don't know if we need to get into that, a big one, but I thought that was another big, huge swing play in this game.
It was a miss. And I sometimes, it totally comes off as coach speak. And, I actually said this on my show yesterday, BJ. Boise State ran 86 plays on offense. South Florida ran 53 plays on offense, right? So, we're talking upwards of 130-plus plays in a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, to say that only a couple plays can dictate the outcome of a game, it can seem silly. But as wild as it sounds in a 34-7 blowout, man, I think we can really go back and look at 3 or 4 plays in that game and go, if they controlled or won those snaps, this is a wildly different storyline.
And I know a lot of fans don't want to hear, 34-7 is 34-7, but Nathan dove into a lot of the analytics and all this, and they have this success rate per play and all this, and Boise State actually had more successful plays than South Florida did on offense. They got across the 50-yard line 8 times. They outgained them.
Yep.
If you really want to look at it, they were, if you want to go to one play, I'll give you the Sire Gaines fumble at the 14-yard line. If he doesn't fumble that ball, you score and take the lead probably before halftime. Who knows what happens? But all 3 of those fumbles, the 4 times on 4th down, the 4th and 2 when you're down 10 late in the third quarter. There was the screenshot. There was multiple guys open. I've seen it on social media, but Gaines was there and the throw was a little off. If you take the field goal there, you're down 7, or if you get that, maybe you score, you're down 3. I hate to say, it was a lot closer than 34-7. I'm not trying to be a homer here, whatever. No. But if you do want to try to find positives and have reason, I don't think the offense was – quite as bad as it looked.
Yeah.
But with that said, Jay, you can't have 7, 8, 9, 10-yard play, drives to get 40 yards. They got to find ways to get more explosive plays down the field.
Agreed with that. And I don't even think it's about necessarily trying to find the positives, in all honesty, BJ. But after the game, Marco Notriani, a senior captain on this team, said the Broncos beat the Broncos tonight. And I think when you look at the scoreboard and you see 34-7, you can kind of have a tough time almost accepting that. But for all the reasons you just laid out, those are a few plays that swung the outcome of the game, in my opinion, and all of them were controlled by Boise State. It wasn't necessarily South Florida doing much to win the game. It was Boise State beating Boise State. And so I know we're still sitting here on a Tuesday after a Thursday game talking about this, but let's face it. I mean, that it is the storyline right now, and there's a lot to get through, and they need to clean some of that stuff up. I for me, honestly, I don't. The Sire Gaines fumble was tough. That's even one that I will live with even more over a personal foul penalty, though, because ball was low, it got out. He's got to fix that clearly. But at least he was like, it was an effort play trying to break a tackle.
I'm just saying, I guess that's not a play where I expect to happen a lot more this season.
No, I wouldn't either. But it all goes back for me again. Man, I'm sorry. It was the Banks personal foul. That's the play for me that really swung the game, because
7-3, right? Boise State's about to get the ball probably near midfield after a punt. They're deep in their own zone.
I mean, we need our boy Nate to check out these analytics or whatever. But like, Boise State gets the sack, and I believe it was South Florida was back to their 15-yard line with about 8 minutes to go in the first half, right?
Yep.
The percentages of South Florida scoring are 0. It doesn't mean that they could run a fake punt and score. That could happen, but like, ESPN's analytics would say that the chances of them doing anything are 0.
Yep.
And by allowing that to go on,
and Boise State's getting the ball near midfield,
and which means if they punt between the 40s, which is likely where Boise State takes over, your chances of scoring on that are now 40%. So
to go up 2 scores. And instead you get the personal foul, you give up 15 yards, a fresh set of downs, and now all of a sudden South Florida's scoring percentages go up to 30%. So now, I mean, just a massive swing. Yep.
In that game was at that point in time, and they never recovered from
And I'm not trying to pile on Devon Banks. I mean, as Spencer said, there were a lot of other guys, but there was another viral clip of Devon Banks kind of jogging after the guy going for the tackle. Spencer Danielson addressed the tackling. I said, hey, was it more effort, or was it, just not wrapping guys up? What was the reason for the tackling issues in this game? Here's what Spencer had to say.
I mean, effort is 99.9% of it, BJ, right? If I'm jogging after a ball carrier, I don't care what tackling drills you're doing in practice, it ain't going to go good, right? So we got to fix the effort and the mentality. Overall, early on in the game, outside of tackling the quarterback, our guys tackled pretty well. When it got to the quarterback, our guys just lost it. Tackled high, which we got to get that fixed. We will fix the effort, and the tackling will improve. And no, let's not get to it. We tackled live today in practice to get some things fixed, and we need to. We have to fix the effort and the mentality. When you have the intent to take a guy to the ground, that starts with getting to him. And if you can't get to him, you're going to be a fly in the windshield, which is what we looked like on Thursday night.
We'll discuss that and more in just a second. I want to thank rowpaint.com, our title sponsor here on Bronco Nation News. There would be no BNN without Andy Rowe and rowpaint.com. So they also wouldn't be orange spray paint, I guess, in the end zones either. So rowpaint.com, appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. All your concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting. Hit up our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union. I'm looking at their logo right now on the outside of the stadium. It's in the inside of the stadium. ICCU is back as a partner with Learfield Bronco Sports Properties, and we're so happy to have that news come. And now they have 7 NIL deals as well with student athletes. So return the favor, folks. Make the switch today. ICCU.com. Hey, Taco Bell, it's a Taco Bell Tuesday. You can go to TacoBellWorks.com to find out more information about the Nicolason family, SON Management Group, all their what they're doing for Boise State and the local community. And go try those new chicken and steak street chalupas, the $3 Chipotle Ranch grilled steak burrito, the new crispy chicken strips, or that Mountain Dew Baja Midnight Freeze today. Taco Bell, it's the future of fast food. Visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. Go pick up those trading cards. And don't forget, tonight, 8 p.m., the Riley and Ridge Show, working on a very special guest we hope to announce shortly. Riley and Ridge Show tonight, live at 8 o'clock. Come join us at the James Kitchen and Bar on the patio. It's sponsored by Jackson's. and we hope you'll take advantage of that and come hang out. And we're looking to have a really cool special guest live. And as always, if you're a paid subscriber to BNN and you come hang out and watch the Riley and Ridge Show, your first beer is on me. So come hang out. The Riley and Ridge Show presented by Jackson's tonight at 8 o'clock, and make sure you head to a local Jackson's and pick up those trading cards. Hey, Snake River Pool and Spa, patio, and game. TheSpaTeam.com is their website. They got locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Whether it's a sauna, a pool table, spa, they got you covered. Check them out online at TheSpaTeam.com. And getting ready for Friday, that means you need to get out to the Blue and Orange store, get your game day gear. You got to know what section you're sitting in for the striped seating for this one with the blue and orange. Make sure you have the right color of a shirt for this game. So the blueandorangestore.com, you can order anywhere in the world. You can visit right now. They're open during normal business hours. The Hall of Fame location down here at Boise State, the Boise Town Square Mall location as well. The Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com. And I want to thank Lithia, Florida, Boise. We're going to try to get over there later this week, even maybe for a broadcast to get you set for the season. The fall kickoff sale underway at Lithia, Florida, Boise. Never a better time to buy a pre-owned or new F-150, all the great options they have there. That's what the Rains family did. We are loving it. Lithia, Florida, Boise, Jim Sturk and company. They're continuing to support Boise State. They got the naming rights on the Bronco Studios as well, so they're doing a tremendous job helping out Jim Sturk and company, and we appreciate them. So when you're looking for that next car, truck purchase, make it at Lithia, Florida, Boise. When you talk NIL, you see Latrell Capels. You see all the various, athletes that have deals with there's a bee flying around, Jay, with Boise State. So we appreciate Jim Sturk and company at Lithia, Florida, Boise, and their whole crew over there. Now, Jay, during the break, I tried to give you enough time. We were discussing this during the clip, and now we're trying to figure it out. We were wondering, you kind of alluded to it, but before that personal foul, after you get the sack, what is the win probability for Boise State when they're about to get the ball near midfield versus the personal foul, which gives them the first down? And I think that individual play, it might not have changed a ton, but if you factor in the fact that they went down and scored, and you give them the touchdown versus if you had given Boise State a 2-score lead, maybe that would be a better example of this.
You're right. And gosh, I hate admitting this, but you're actually right about another play. So before that, Boise State had about a 64% chance of winning the game, right? Before the personal foul.
Does it count the sack or no?
After, if I was on my desktop, I could zoom in better and figure it out exactly, right? Either way, it goes from about a 64% chance of Boise State winning, dipping down to about a coin flip, just above 50%, right? You were actually correct, BJ. Dang it. That, as Boise State's driving, even though they're down 3, as Boise State's driving, even after they're down 3, they have about a 63% chance of winning the game. But after Sire's fumble, it dipped all the way down to 45%. So they went from, a likely win, but the team that was definitely in position to take the game, to now all of a sudden being the underdog of finding a way to come back. So
and I'm not even blaming Sire Gaines for them losing the game. I'm just saying that's why if you want to find positives, they should have. They should have scored on that drive. They should have gone up and should have had the lead going into half, and it's a different game. If you want to just say it wasn't nearly as bad as it was. But fumbles matter. Those plays count, and those were big plays in the game.
Yeah, and another stat that I looked up over the weekend too, Boise State very rarely loses by 3 or worse in a turnover battle, right? For a team that's won the second most games in college football since 2000, since 1996, they are 3-18 when they lose the turnover battle by at least 3. So for a team that
I'm surprised they have 3.
I am too, but it just goes to show you though, for a team that wins at an incredible rate, if you lose the turnover battle by 3, you quickly turn into the worst. I mean, I'm not saying Boise State's the worst team in America, but your outcome and record would suggest it's way too tough to overcome. Well, they're 3-18 in those situations.
I also saw your former employer KTVB had a stat. Maybe it was in the game notes and I missed it, but not since 2005 has Boise State not scored in the second, third, or fourth quarter of a game either. And so they scored in the first quarter and then didn't score again. You got to go back 20 years for that. And, I kept thinking about Brian Kelly when they lost last year in that first game. And he said, he banged the table and he goes, we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And it made me think of that because a lot of the issues, Jay, that popped up in that game were issues that were problems last season. And I know that tackling, you give him a little pass maybe because it's the first game and everyone says tackling's bad in the first game. I get it. But the tackling wasn't good. The special teams cost you a touchdown. They weren't good last year. Your defense giving up too many explosive passing plays. They gave up 3 plays of, I think, at least 49 yards in that game or close. And then on the other end, we wanted to see more explosive downfield passing plays from Boise State. And you did get that long one that you helped me look up post-game, 31-yarder to Cam Bates. That was very late in the game.
Yeah.
They had another 24-yard one. But for the most part, there was not much downfield passing again. And I know Nate Potter said yesterday, well, you have to be able to run the football and be in situations where you can throw the ball downfield. But overall, I think that's what was concerning to me, is that a lot of the stuff we spent 8 months talking about showed up again at South Florida.
Yeah. This is also a moment where all the people that, and it's not all you guys, by the way, but there are people. We're talking about Dirk Cutter's offense last year. Between the tackles again. And you thought it was boring. But guess what? It kept this team out of 3rd and long more often than not. And it always meant that if they were in 3rd and short, they could be unpredictable on offense. And if they're in 3rd and short, they could still have the opportunity to go for it on 4th, right? So I'm not saying you'd waste a play on 3rd down, but maybe that's a play where you do pick to be aggressive. So they got away from that. Like, they got away from their strengths as an offense. And even hearing them talk about this yesterday, Spencer was very clear. No, we are a run-first football team, and then we go off play action, and then we're a drop-back football team in that order. And you only get the 3 if you can't accomplish 1 or 2. And that's the way that this offense stays dynamic and is more aggressive and unpredictable because, man, I think I looked this up too in the second half specifically. They had 8 3rd down situations. 7 of them were 3rd and 5 or longer, and many were longer than 5, but 3rd and 5 or longer. But once you're 3rd and 5, I mean, like,
your percentage is much tougher to get.
It's way because you're so much more predictable. Like, unless you have Ashton Genty, you're probably not running the ball on 3rd and 5 very often.
Yeah. Now, I'll say this about the running game. One area, and I'm not sure how I felt going in. I think I was fine with them saying they wanted to split the carries because, honestly, what we saw from Malik Sherrod during fall camp in the summer and the spring, I thought he deserved a lot of action. I thought he looked great. And I don't want to say we were duped by Malik Sherrod. It was one game, but I did – seeing him in a game is different than seeing him in practice, Jay, and I thought he did a lot of dancing and moving and not a lot of trying to hit the hole at times. And I certainly thought that Sire Gaines was the better runner in that game. I just think moving forward, I mean, you could have given me a lot of, odds, and I would not have said that Dylan Riley was going to get a carry on the first drive of the season. I just thought maybe they were trying to go too far down the depth chart there, try to get both those guys carries too much. I think against Eastern Washington, Sire Gaines needs to get, 65, 70, 75% of the carries here. And I just think Malik Sherrod should be used more in the screen game, more outside the tackles. I mean, I didn't love Malik Sherrod trying to run up the middle. And again, I'm not giving up on the guy. Flat tire there on the Lime scooter. Wow.
She's powering through it.
Must have been the only one available. Yeah. Got to get to class. Can't be late for class, I guess. Wow. MVP of the day right there.
Scooter?
Yeah. But I'm not trying to give up on Malik Sherrod, and I'm not.
No.
But I thought, but with what I saw in that game, I think you have to give Sire Gaines more than 9 carries.
And see, this is where we dip into like a little bit of the more like, this is up for our interpretation, right? Analyzing and suggesting X's and O's and stuff is different for me than looking down and seeing a guy jogging to a football. And then I think we can all, understand that's unacceptable. Like, So we get into X's and O's and stuff like that. And
you don't know what the goal is, what hole he was supposed to run through, a lot of that stuff. I get it.
Yeah. And then the game gets away from you. And then all of a sudden you drop back 46 times. Like, they were pretty clear yesterday in the press conference that, like, yeah, could Maddox play better? Did he miss a few throws? Yes. But, like, is he the problem? No. And he's more determined than anybody to get it fixed. There's never a lack of effort from Maddox Madsen. And with that all being said, if Maddox is asked to drop back 46 times and throw the football, that's not the identity of this offense. And in games where if that happens, I'm just going to guess it's not going to favor Boise State at the end of the day. And last year they stacked the box. They still found a way to run the football. And that's what Nate Potter said yesterday. Like, It doesn't matter what the defense is doing to us, right? Like, we have to find a way to establish a run and build our identity. And they've got to find a way to do it. And last year they often did. And they had the most special football player in America to do it. Now they got to see if they can still find a way to do that this year. And I will say this. I think that as you do that, if you look, and this is no knock on anybody, it's just looking at Sire Gaines and realizing he's 215, if not more than that, I think he said.
Mm-hmm.
And he's built to run between the tackles.
Yeah.
I'm right. Like, it doesn't mean you can't run between the tackles at 177 pounds, but like, if you want to establish your identity and then build off of that, like,
and you can't only have him run up the middle or only have Sherrod go outside. I mean, teams will figure out those tendencies, but we do have folks in the chat calling for Greg Ard over Sherrod.
Well, let's chill on that one. I think that, like, seriously, Malik Sherrod looked unbelievable in practice at times, and I would just, I would say his performance, like, even counting the return game, which I didn't think he did much, I thought was a little underwhelming. I was expecting a little more from game
Malik
one is
Sherrod.
underwhelming. That's fine, man. I'm okay with you saying that. Like, that's fine, but I'm okay with, for him, I'm okay with saying it was one game. Like, I'm ready to give him more chances. I don't think that that's the problem.
But I agree. But with that said, Sire Gaines needs more than 9 carries. I will say that.
You run 86 plays on offense and have a fully healthy Sire Gaines, and he only gets 9 carries,
which I don't know the answer.
I'm okay with that.
And Nate Potter did allude to the fact that maybe they were getting him back into game shape. He did. I mean, maybe because he'd been missed all of last season, missed part of camp. Maybe you didn't want to give him 25 carries in the first game. I get that, but I think in this game, you know what? Maybe in this game you're up 35-7.5, and you don't need to pound him into the ground 25 times. But I just think that yes, you want guys fresh. Yes, you want to mix it up, but you also, running backs will tell you they'd rather get 5 straight carries than get 2 plays and go to the bench.
Probably right on that. Whether the starters play a quarter or all 4 in this game, you need a solid stretch of football where you feel that you can take that to Air Force and say, this is our answer. This is how we're going to win football games. So however long it takes to accomplish that mission, regardless of what the Malaluka scoreboard says, you have to get to that point. So if you have to go, if that's, I don't even know, BJ, if that's 20-13 or 60-7, like you have to feel like you get to that point before you leave the field as a football team on Friday night.
Double O'Neill says, sorry, blaming the players or the coaches or both? I'm still confused. But he said unacceptable, period. I
think everybody's got a little bit to blame. But all I'm saying is when Spencer Danielson stands up there and says it's all on me, there needs to that's not a message to the locker room. But if I'm a captain or somebody, I'm going, hey, this guy just took the entire blame for this game, and you're jogging to a play. Like, that's where I think that the
but
player,
yet people are saying, is Spencer going to take accountability? I bet he didn't take. I don't need to watch. Probably didn't take accountability.
You know what?
17 times he said.
Again, I don't want to just like throw stuff out there because Boise State has had phenomenal coaches since I've been here. Some of them don't get enough credit. Look what Brian Harsin did.
You're a Boise State employee now. Be careful.
As Cal's OC the other day. All I'm saying is that, man, I don't remember a coach standing up there right after a game and as adamantly as Spencer Danielson said, this is on me. This is on me. I don't know, man.
I don't think Harsin would have called out players individually. He never did.
I don't think so either.
But I guarantee you how that postgame was handled and how yesterday's press conference would not have been the same under previous coaches. I feel pretty good saying at him, and again, props to Andy Avalos, had a hell of a game last night.
Heck of a game last night.
It
would have gone down different. I almost guarantee that.
Yeah, and that's just everyone has their own personality. I'm not ripping Andy for that. I'm just saying he would have yesterday's press conference would have gone differently with previous coaches.
Yes.
I want to finish by spinning this forward to Eastern Washington, but final thing, people are asking about Nate Potter and kind of the game. They're not huge fans of the game plan. What was your take on? And even if you want to touch on Chenander, they had the 4 sacks, but there weren't a lot of blitzes. I think all 4 sacks may have come with like 4-man rushes. What was your take on the coordinators and how they called games? And with Potter, he basically said yesterday, need to do more play action. I think Nathan said they only ran 12 play action attempts, which is far fewer than what they did last year. But he's like, well, the play action ain't going to work if you're not running the football first to scare them into the play action.
Or if you're constantly in 3rd and 11, like, go ahead, run play action on 3rd and 11.
But overall,
nobody's going to care.
Nate Potter's first game as OC, what'd you think?
It could have been better because they scored 7 points. But not so fast, Bronco Nation, though, at the same time, because this is the same guy that was the run coordinator on a historically good offense last year. Yes, they had Ashton Genty. Yes, they had Dirk Cutter. But, like, I think if you really dive into that building over there, Nate Potter warrants a ton of respect for what he was able to do, constantly finding ways to run against 9-man boxes with Ashton Genty because they were trying to stop them. And they still found a way. And so that's another one where NCAA football video game, right? Yep. Now we're comparing reality to video games. So that's where we're at this point. But you ever go up to like Heisman mode on, I'm ready for this. I'm going to go up to Heisman mode. And then you try to attempt playing on Heisman mode like you would at the varsity mode, where you just drop back, you scramble, you try to throw bombs every play. And then all of a sudden, like, whatever, the game knows about you, you become predictable and they just start to beat you. And so then you're like, this isn't fun. And then you hit the reset button, right? It almost felt like that's how the game went the other night, where, oh man, it's 17-7. Oh man, it's 24-7. Oh man, it's 31-7. And then it gets to a point where you just want to hit the reset button because you can't do anything that you should do to be successful on offense. And I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but I played the video game, and that's just kind of what it felt like watching it. Anything they should have been doing, kind of the boring stuff, they could no longer do because the deficit was too big, and then they became way too predictable.
All right, I have another Danielson bet I want to play, but I'll let you get out of here after this, and I'll keep the show going a little bit. How do you? Okay, so Friday night, 7:00 home opener. How do you spin all this forward? What do you want to see differently? What do you think we'll see differently? How do you see Friday night playing out against Eastern Washington?
A chance to come out and play with your hair on fire from the opening kickoff. There something dynamic big happens. First offensive series, first defensive series. Like, you set the tone early and you quickly prove that whatever you saw last week in Tampa is not the team we are, and it's not the team we're going to be. There better be a ton of emotion poured into this thing. And the type of emotion, BJ, that we saw out of the Boise State football team, those first game where Spencer Danielson took over, where Alexander Tubner's grabbing the mic out of my hand and saying the search is over, we found our coach. Those guys, Ahmed Hassani's talking about how he died for Spencer Danielson. All these other guys, I'll run through a wall for Spencer Danielson. I tweeted this out.
That's what's so weird about last Thursday, guys jogging to the ball.
Ashton Genty giving up $1 million offer from another school to play for Spencer Danielson. So that's where you had a lot of these guys that were main contributors under the previous regime here, and they appreciated the fresh start so much that they were willing to do whatever it took to back that guy up. And as you just said, that's why it made Thursday so surprising. How can they flip the script and get back to playing with that passion again?
Well, Spencer Danielson said they haven't been through that in a long time. Nope. Like you said, a game where it was 30. I mean, I hate to say it, but it felt like some of those ugly losses a couple years ago in the previous regime. I mean,
guys, I also saw this. It was not UTEP. UTEP was
no.
Did you see this on social? There are people saying it's worst loss since UTEP. We were at UTEP. Whew, that was doomsday. That was.
No, but it had that loss where it was just like, this is Boise State. This shouldn't be happening. What is going on here?
More so Fresno State, I would say, of 23, which was also a significant one because that ultimately led to, the big decision came right after that with Andy being let go. So, but it kind of had that feeling like, wow, that's not characteristic of this team. The one difference is I still feel like they have an ability to get it back right now.
And you're Andrew Simpson last night flying around for North Carolina. Eric McAllister making plays for TCU. Andy Avalos on the sideline. Dominant. I mean, that was a weird game for Boise State fans to watch last night.
A little bit.
When you talk about Fresno State and what happened. I still wonder if has Andy Avalos and Eric McAllister, I mean, have they dapped up since then, or have they said hello since then? I mean, I still wonder
if we ever go cover a TCU football game. First question. Let's make it happen in the college football playoff, maybe.
All right.
How about that?
On the blue. Andy's return.
On the blue.
That would be tough at this point, but you beat Notre Dame.
I saved this clip.
Who knows?
Bookmark that thing right
Appreciate you, Jay. Thanks for coming by,
right, buddy.
man. We're
Hey,
going to hear
good-
from Spencer.
good show today, by
We're
the
going to
way.
keep this thing rolling. Jay has to go, but we don't. So if you want to keep talking Boise State, get your comments in the chat. We'll keep playing them. We're going to hear another Spencer Danielson soundbite as well. But I do want to thank Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online, BauscherRealEstate.com. Best in the business. We're talking if you're looking to, buy or sell a home, there's nobody better than Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. 13 locations in the state of Idaho, many more in the surrounding states. You can check them out online at shopridleys.com. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. ShopRidleys.com at Ridley's at Family Markets. Hey, transportation, compliance service, transcomservice.com. They want to help get into the trucking industry. They can help you do that. Whether it's DOT, overweight, all the permits, all the things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Transportation Compliance Service is ready to help you out. Check them out online at transcomservice.com. We have a voicemail today. I'm going to see if we can play it. I think I put it in there. Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades. Whether it's a re-roof or repair, an estimate, and inspection, they got you covered online. MySignatureRoofing.com. We've got a roof from Signature Roofing. I highly, highly recommend it. Tremendous work. Awesome people over there. And please hit up Signature Roofing for your next roof project and tell them you heard about it on BNN. They'll hook you up with a great deal. And they're the sponsor of our Voice Inbox. Postgame Show, we had a couple. We had a couple the following day. I have another one in here. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail. If you can't get your thoughts accurately put out in the YouTube chat, you can join us and leave us a voicemail on the ICCU chat. You can leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox line, and we'd love to have those moving forward here. So appreciate those of you that did leave us a voicemail. I want to see if I can pull this up here. Chris V, but it's a different Chris, or Chris W, I believe it is. Chris Washburn left us a voicemail. We'll see if this works. Give me a thumbs up or something in the chat if you guys can hear this. But here's Chris Washburn in the Signature Roofing voice inbox leaving us a voicemail on the game.
Hey guys, day after the game, obviously was incredibly frustrating. Didn't get to watch a ton of it. I was listening to it at work, but it was just obviously not up to the standard. A lot of self-inflicted wounds. But I had a question, BJ, for Brad whenever he's on next. How often they were switching their running backs up? I feel like that's got to mess with the O-line. Obviously, Brad and Winston today were talking about how the running back can't get enough flow, but you have 2 different style of running backs, and so you're running different types of plays to fit each one's style. That's got to mess with an O-line when it's all in one drive, in the same drive every other play. It's a different back, different type of play call. You look at a team like the Detroit Lions, they got probably the best running back duo in the league, and they're not swapping every other play. They got 2 studs. They're swapping series by series, and so I feel like you get a better flow. I feel like that's question for Brad would just be how much does that affect the O-line?
Appreciate the comment there, and yeah, we'll try to ask Brad that. And if you have a comment or a voicemail, the Signature Roofing voice inbox line, you can leave us a voicemail, and we'll play that moving forward. And kind of like what I was talking about, I thought they got a little too cute trying to play too many running backs on the opening drive. I never would have thought Dylan Riley would get a carry on the first possession of the season. So 3 running backs getting carries, touches, first drive seems a little much to me. I know you want to spread the ball around and get different guys the ball, but I think you need to kind of focus that in a little bit, especially within the drives. If you want to alternate drives, whatever, I guess I'm a little more okay with that. But I want to see more Sire Gaines on Friday night. I really do. And I think he needs to get action early and often, which it sounds like he probably will. We are outside Albertson Stadium. Inside, work is going on the North End Zone project. Work's going on outside the stadium with ticketing areas and lines and security lines and getting set, for the home opener on Friday. We'll tell you more about that later in the week. There are going to be some different entrances and things. I would recommend getting here early, very early, for the game on Friday. You got a Friday at 5 o'clock traffic. You got tailgating, going on. You got just a lot of traffic down here for what's going to be a sellout crowd, and you have one less entrance than you usually do because of that north end zone project being closed off on that entrance one. So you need to get here early. I have a bad feeling we're going to have a good number of people midway through the first quarter still out in line complaining that they can't get into the stadium. So they're trying to tell you early, do not slam that extra beer in the parking lot. Do not cook that extra burger. Get into the stadium, get in line early, or you're going to miss part of this game. If you're one of those people that thinks you can just go into the game right 5 minutes before, you will miss the first quarter on Friday because they have less entrances. They're doing their best to try to add to it and all that and add, entrances there. But just the traffic flow and the congestion is going to be at an all-time high probably this year because of the fact that you don't have that extra entrance there for the north end zone. So I'm warning you. They're warning you. Get in early. Give yourself plenty of time to get in on Friday night, or you really could have an issue where, you're going to have folks complaining that they're missing part of the game, and I fully expect that to happen. So Boise State is still on the field practicing. We are out here. We watched the open portion for about 20 minutes and then came out here to chat with you folks. We have great viewership. Appreciate all you guys here on social media, and YouTube is booming again. So if you're watching on YouTube, there's 198 of you right now. Give us a quick like down there, wherever that like button is. I don't know if it's on, I think this side maybe, like right here. But if you can give us a quick like, that would really help us out in the algorithms to show up higher on other, lists and stuff for future broadcasts. And if you are not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, knock that out right now. Give us a quick subscribe button there. It's free. It's easy. And you can find all of our shows and things, our live broadcasts, our press conferences on the YouTube channel there. So Melinda Draper says you're in our tailgate spot. We are. We might be. I think I know where your spot is. I think we are pretty close here. So, yeah, we are. I wanted to get in the shade. I know the lighting's not great, but we wanted to be in the shade and have a chance to, not cook in the sun here. And so we came over here under a tree over here kind of by University Boulevard to have this show. And again, they're still having practice. And then we're going to talk after practice to Braxton Feely and also to Derek Ganter. Derek Ganter Jr. only got one snap, and that was one question that I wanted to ask Jay Tust was about Jaden Mickey, the Notre Dame transfer. I'm reading between the lines here. I think he may start. I think he may be a key contributor. If he doesn't start, I would suspect him to get plenty of playing time in this game. But you heard Spencer Danielson basically saying, "I screwed up. I should have benched." Banks, and then he's talking about the effort level, and if you don't have the effort, you're not going to play. And I asked about Banks only playing one snap in that game, and he said basically. Yeah, that is something that we're going to have to take a look at and see, and that may be something where, he's going to compete for more time this week. So I do think that's one area you may see is Jaden Mickey get some action, only had one snap in that game. And then Derek Ganter Jr., he only had one snap in that game. He is going to be speaking to the media today. He obviously played at Eastern Washington last year, so cool side story there with him playing at Eastern Washington, now playing his old team. Boise State trying to pick his brain a little bit about some things, but I would also suspect, maybe Ganter gets a little more time, but you did hear Eric Shenander answer my question yesterday that Derek Ganter is a little further away when it comes to being ready. He said he's going to be a great player here, has a hot, bright future. But I mean, Jaden Mickey's already played at Notre Dame and had significant snaps a little bit further along, I guess you could say, as Derek Ganter Jr. But they're going to make him available to the media today. So we'll talk to Braxton Feely and Derek Ganter Jr. And by the way, another plug tonight, 8 p.m., the Riley and Ridge Show, working on a really special guest for the Riley and Ridge Show, 8 o'clock tonight. And we'll let you know the guest as soon as we get confirmation from Boise State that we can do so. But hoping for a current player or coach to come over at 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, Riley and Ridge Show, right over here, the patio at the James Kitchen and Bar. Come hang out on the patio, watch the show, meet Riley, meet Rid, have a late dinner, have a couple drinks. And if you are a paid subscriber to BNN, you get your first beer on me. And by the way, today's the last day, 75% off. 75% off. That's $2.23 a month. If you make the switch today to 247 Sports, BroncoNationNews.com. If you're on the fence about subscribing, we've had tremendous interest. We pushed past 1,000 paid subscribers. So a big thank you to all of you that have subscribed. We've had about 700 of you make the switch in the 2 months since we started. There were about 300 previous subscribers when we took over, and now we're up to just past 1,000 paying subscribers. So thank you all. And I know a lot of you over the weekend, about 75 of you took advantage of the 75% offer. Today is the last day. So you want $2.23 a month. It's a one-time payment of $26.85. That gets you a full year, BroncoNationNews.com. And then when it renews at the full price next year, you get Paramount Plus included in that as well, which basically pays for itself. A great value there as well. So subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. Today's the last day. 75% off our full price. It comes out to $2.23 a month. Subscribe today. And then when things start, getting better here and they start winning some games, you'll already have your subscription. You'll get all the coverage, including Ball Talk. Johnny and Sanford tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. That's a subscriber-only show, so you got to be a paying subscriber to get Ball Talk and watch that show tomorrow night. Totally worth it. Appreciate you for saying that. Nice of you to say. But Spencer Danielson spoke with the media yesterday. We heard a couple clips earlier in the show. If you missed those, you can go back and watch it. But one more here from Spencer Danielson talking about looking for guys that want to play on this team and want to give the effort that's necessary to get out there and play.
Team hasn't been through what we went through on Thursday night in a long time. We had some losses, but not like that. We got our butts kicked on Thursday night. And now it's our job to not flinch because we learn from it. We know what getting punched in the mouth feels like now. Our jaw got to get stronger. We got to be able to respond better. And I can go down a long list of things we got to learn from because we went through that adversity. And the next time we show up to a fight, we better be ready to fight. And we better be ready to take a punch and we better be able to give one. And we did not do that on Thursday. What does that mean correlated to football? Our mentality and our effort was nowhere near the standard it needs to be at Boise State. And I take absolutely full responsibility for that in all three phases. And that is something we are actively working to get fixed. Should not have shown up on Thursday night, and it did. And as a coach, it is not on those players. It is on me to make sure that standard is clear. And if a player can't do that consistently, they're not going to play her. And if we're going to be selfish at positions and care about me, and not about the team, they're not going to play her. This is a team that is about the team. And we got a great group of leaders that care about this team. And the funny part, how it usually works, the guys that care about the team usually get all the individual success too. It's funny how that works. And that's where we're at as a team. And at the end of the day, when you look at football, if you lose the turnover margin, which we did, they had 3, we had 0. Or they were +3, we were 0. And you lose the explosive play battle, which wasn't even close. You lose 99% of the time. That is football. You can look at all stats. Red zone touchdowns, yes, they matter. Third downs matter. Fourth downs matter. But if you just look at those 2 stats, you lose those football games. And we lost that. And obviously, I think questions that came up after the game, turnovers, tackling, some special team issues. Yes, there's things that we struggled with last season. We maybe were able to win games while still maybe not handling those situations the right way. It showed up again. So as a coach, we are problem solvers. I'm not going to sit in front of our team or our staff and talk about the problem. We are problem solvers. We are figuring out what's next and how we can grow and improve. And that's what we're going to do. And just like anything, you look at that game and every game is this way. A couple plays go differently. We're having a completely different conversation right now. But it didn't. We got punched in the mouth and we better be ready for the fight the next time it shows up. And I promise our team, our staff, I promise Bronco Nation, our team will be ready because of what we learned from on Thursday night. So I'm proud of the conversations we were able to have as a staff. Really like the practice we had today. And we got to continue to stack those. We're going to find out the 11 guys on offense, defense, SWAT, special teams, as we call it, that can uphold the standard and play with a level of effort and a level of mentality that we need to from snap one to the end of the game. So as painful as it is, as much as it hurts my heart, the product that's on the field, because it is me, and that represents our state, our city, Bronco Nation, we will be better for it. And like I said, it is game 1. There's so much to learn from. And we still have everything in front of us.
Spencer Danielson speaking yesterday. That full interview, if you want to watch it, is up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. If you're watching on either Facebook or Twitter right now, switch over to YouTube. That's where most of the chat is. In the YouTube chat, there's almost 200 of you in there chatting, talking right now, arguing, disagreeing, agreeing. And so always enjoy the ICCU YouTube chat. And if you're watching on one of the other platforms, I would recommend subscribing to us on YouTube. It's free. Turn on your notifications so you know when we go live for future broadcasts. And then that's the way you can watch all of our shows. Somebody was asking about Ball Talk and what channel that is. That's right here on this YouTube channel. It's just a private link that we send out in the VIP message boards on Wednesday morning. So tomorrow morning, if you're a paid subscriber, throughout the day tomorrow, you can go to the VIP message boards, and there will be a VIP private YouTube link for the Sanford and Ball Talk show with John Mallory, and then you can use that. We ask you not to share that link with others, but if you're a paid subscriber, you get a private link for YouTube, and you'll be one of the only ones that gets to watch that show. And you know what? The viewership definitely changes. We had about 3 times as many viewers when we made last week's Open to everybody, and so that is a conscious decision I made, that I know we get better viewership when we open it up for free, obviously. And we don't do quite as well, obviously, when it's a paid thing, but we want those folks that pay. We want it to be worth your subscription. We want to give you as much value as we can. I think we do that with Mike Prater's columns and Nathan's analysis and Chris's recruiting coverage and my coverage. I think we make it worth it to you. But to try to add to it, we're going to occasionally have shows like Ball Talk that go behind the paywall. So you need to pony up for the $26.85 today before that deal goes away, and then be able to watch Ball Talk tomorrow. Again, just go to the VIP message boards, and you'll see the link there for the YouTube link to watch the private link on Ball Talk. So we just hit an hour. Appreciate you guys. Jumping Idaho, I feel I get the value. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, especially when it's when you get it at the discounted rate right now, $26.85. I think it goes down to 30%. So it like doubles in price if you don't take advantage of today's offer, I believe. So there's all kinds of construction trucks driving by. They're getting set for all of the tailgating over here on the practice field. They're getting set. I see them hanging some banners right here for entrance 2 and the different entrances. So a lot going on down here. Practice just about to wrap up. And then we're going to talk to a couple players. As I said, Braxton Feely and Derek Anter Jr. We'll talk to the media here in about an hour. We'll get that posted on the YouTube chat. All of our press conferences, highlights, shows, everything is on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel, and 99.9% of that is free. So just subscribe on YouTube, turn on your notifications, and when we post new videos and things, you'll get to access to that. So we'll see you over in the message boards. I know Chris and Nathan have been in there this morning. I got an hour to kill. I'm going to jump in, reply to some of your comments and things. So we've had tremendous traffic in the message boards. So if you're wanting to keep the discussion from the YouTube chat going with other fans, we have a free message board and a VIP one. So if you're not able to afford the subscription, we still have a spot that you can go for free and hang out and chat with fans in the VIP in the free message board over there at BroncoNationNews.com. But also we have the paid board where we kind of give more of the analysis and really drop some more recruiting tips and other things that we're hearing from practice and stuff. We're going to continue to add more value to the VIP message board as well if you're a paying subscriber. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Another great viewership, another great record-breaking show here, so really appreciate that. Folks are wanting Coach Bedell uncensored behind the paywall. Yeah, we may have to make that happen here, but that's another way to get some subscribers for sure. But Brad Bedell will be doing pre- and post-game, by the way. We'll be live pre-game, post-game at the James Kitchen and Bar, and yours you want them, you get them. Brad Bedell, Kent Riddle. You get them post-game after the Eastern Washington game. So we'll see what kind of mood they're in, how many beverages they've had on a Friday night. And it could be a fun post-game show, hopefully, if Boise State can play well and win that game. So make plans for the post-game show. It'll start within 5-10 minutes of the game ending. They're going to fire up the post-game show right away. It'll be Nathan Carroll hosting with Brad Bedell and Kent Riddle. I'll get the post-game interviews, and then I'll come over and join them as well. And so there you go. Nathan Carroll says it's going to be a fun time. He's watching. He'll be hosting the show with Bedell and Riddle after the game. I will get all of my interviews and things post-game, and then come over and join them at the James afterwards. So we'll be there pre-game as well. I think about 4:30 we're going to have the pre-game show. So try to make plans to join us 4:30 for the pre-game show on Friday. We'll tell you more about that later in the week. But don't forget tonight, 8 o'clock, Kent Riddle, Riley Smith, 8 o'clock tonight. They'll be live at the James Kitchen and Bar. I'll be there hanging out if you want to come chat, talk football. Once I hit start and their show starts, I kind of just have a cocktail and hang out. So if you want to chat, talk Boise State, whatever, we'll see you on the patio 8 o'clock tonight for the Riley and Ridge show, and we'll get their perspective on what happened and what went wrong and how they fix it. And they're hoping to have a special guest, either a current player or coach at Boise State. So make sure you check them out. That'll be 8 o'clock tonight, and we'll let you know on social media as soon as we find out who the guest will be, and that'll be on the patio at the James. And as I said, any paid subscriber that comes on over and shows that you're a paid subscriber, we'll take care of your first beverage over there at the James. So come on by tonight, 8 o'clock, hang out with us. They usually go about 8 to 9:15 or so, and should be a fun show tonight. And like I said, hoping to get a current player or coach over there. And we'll give out a couple packs of those trading cards too from Jackson's. You come on over, we'll have a couple packs of trading cards to give away, and I got some other fun stuff planned. So we always have a fun time on the patio, and hope you'll join us for tonight, 8 o'clock for the Riley and Ridge Show. And then, again, Ball Talk tomorrow. That'll be 8 o'clock, subscriber only on the Bronco Nation News VIP message board. So have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for checking us out. 8 o'clock tonight, the Riley and Ridge Show. But first, go subscribe. $26.85. They got that deal going on right now. Today's the last day to take advantage of our deal. So if you want the a full year of Boise State coverage for less than $2.25 a month, it's about 9 cents a day, I believe it is, and I'm bad at math. Today's the day to sign up. BroncoNationNews.com, 9 cents a day. 75% off. It's their best deal. It's not going to get any better. And for $26.85, you can get a full year coverage today at BroncoNationNews.com. So go sign up and subscribe. Appreciate you. We'll see you in the message boards. We'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock for Riley and Rid. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. with Mike Prater as we continue to move past this loss to South Florida and get you set for Eastern Washington in the home opener on Friday night. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. And we'll see you tonight, 8 o'clock. Either in person at the James or on the social media channels live on YouTube, the Riley and Ridge Show. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day, everybody.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.